It is Wednesday, December 21st, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Wednesday puzzle today, so a midweek, mid-difficulty crossword with a theme. And this midweek, mid-difficulty edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Henrik Koskinen, David Innes, Josh Lucas, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the indomitable Schulmaster. So thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support in sustaining this channel. I do very much appreciate that. And if you'd like to join their ranks as a benefactor and get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve or in a link in the description field underneath the video. And of course, by following that same link, you can become a patron at any level and get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. And thank you to everybody who has done that, to everybody who's a patron of any sort. I do very much appreciate it. It does sustain this channel and this series. And please do also subscribe to the channel. That's free, of course, on YouTube. And join the Daily Solve Discord chat server if that interests you. There's a link in the description field to that as well. So let's move on to today's puzzle. I will quickly reiterate. I mentioned this at the end of yesterday's video, I think, but I know probably by that point some people have tuned out. So I'm going to be traveling on and off for the next 10 days or so. I'm not entirely certain on which days I will be unable to post that day's New York Times crossword. So I've recorded a few sort of canned videos that, if need be, I will post on some days. So there should be something on the channel each day. There should be a new video each day, but it may or may not be that day's New York Times puzzle. So apologies for the cases when that ends up being the case, but I'll do my best to get the daily puzzle up as often as I can. All right, and so let's move on to the puzzle for today, which is, of course, the real puzzle, published today by Nancy Stark and Will Nediger. Nancy Stark has constructed, I think, a handful of puzzles, and Will Nediger several dozen for the New York Times. It was edited, as always, by Will Shorts, and there will be a theme, so let's start solving and find out what it is. Okay, to be an omen of is to... what? To... oh, it's on the tip of my tongue and I just can't think. Bode? To be an omen, to bode well, to be... I don't know if that necessarily works. Oh, but maybe it is, because UK Acting Award could be a BAFTA, the British Academy of Film and Television Arts. So, be an omen of could maybe is bode. Let's look down. Hunter visible at night. Yes, that's the constellation Orion, the hunter. To remove condensation from, to de-ice maybe? Is that? Defog maybe, remove condensation. Too soon? Yes, that looks right. And country with the second most Portuguese speakers. Angola? I suppose that makes sense. I wouldn't have known that at all. I wouldn't have ever guessed that off the top of my head. That's really interesting. Okay, so what? I'm just thinking about this. So the second most Portuguese speakers. So what are the first and third then? Because I sort of would have assumed Brazil would be number one. So does that make Portugal number 3? I don't know. I could be off base in some way here, but that's really interesting. Is it? Anyway, let's keep going. Conquer a hero, to eat. So a hero in this case meaning a sort of submarine sandwich. And follower of Bay or Gray, Bay Area or Gray Area, the Bay being capitalized is referring therefore to the San Francisco Bay Area. Sign in a clearance section, 50% off? Yeah. That looks right, and this is part of the theme, and I'm going to succumb to my curiosity and click on this highlighted link to answer. Why are you making such a fuss? Or a hint to 1736 and 43 across. Okay, I do not know what that's getting at yet, so let's just look elsewhere. Risk Taker's acronym is YOLO, you only live once. And Field for Maria Callas. She is famously one of the great opera singers. Okay, can prevent cracking. Lip balm, maybe? Preventing cracked lips. And snack items sometimes shown in ads next to a glass of milk. Oh, is it an Oreo? There we go. Certainly the official sandwich cookie of the New York Times crossword. This is definitely not a clue I've seen before. So there we go. We have a unique clue for the old standby answer of Oreo. And to reduce something is to lower it, if it's a figure, for instance. Confusion might ensue when they're crossed. Words? Crossed words? Is that referring to crosswords, or is that referring to sort of missing somebody's meaning or something? I'm not exactly sure. Blank setter. And key for getting out, not in. Oh, the escape key, I suppose. New York Times crossword does love the escape key. Maybe, is this not words? What is this? It probably does end with an S. No, it seems like it has to be that. I don't know what else it could be. Blank, oh, Irish setter, oh. So it's not words. What is this? Irish setter is a dog. So, oh, this isn't Obod, the duck in Peter and the Wolf. So Peter and the Wolf, in which the different characters are associated with specific instruments, the Prokofiev suite, the duck is played, well, is characterized by the oboe. So, wires when wires are crossed. There we go. Sorry about that. Confusion did ensue for me here. Okay, so metal next to tungsten on the periodic table. What metal is this? Oh, I don't know. I probably should be able to recognize this, but I can't offhand. Signal to play. And brouhahas. Could be ados, a whole brouhaha, a whole ado. Widespread could be rife. So corruption was rife. It was widespread. You could say e-tickets often come as these. Oh, PDFs. The sort of ubiquitous document format, portable document format. And belabor with on is carp on. And so the with on just means we're going to apply on to the answer. So belabor means carp on. Sheepish answer to who broke this. You could acknowledge sheepishly, I did. So what is the signal to play? I'm not sure. And grunts and groans are noises? Is it as simple as that? You don't really have to. No need, I suppose. This looks like rhenium. Is that something? Stretch. And peach or plum is a hue, a color. Yeah, this does look like rhenium. Seems like it sort of has to be that. So, oh yeah. Who says, or something? If it could be sort of who says spelled in this kind of contracted old-timey sort of way. I'm not sure if that's sufficient, though. Let's keep looking. Party people for short, polls. So politicians referring to, or politicos referring to political parties, as opposed to a sort of gala or something. So protect as freshness is seal in. People often see that phrase being used. Seal in the freshness. I don't know if that's actually the answer here. One able to lift 10 to 15 times its body weight. Oh, an ant. You see that said often. Antelope with chin hair, a new. And large-scale corporate union. Oh, a mega merger. There we go. Okay, so we have, that's interesting, 50% off mega merger. I don't know what this theme's doing yet. Okay. Oh, yeah. What if? Stretch. Signal to play. This just doesn't look like anything. Are these definitely right noises? 50% off. I did. I guess to carp, you wouldn't really say to carp on. So I'm carping about this. Harping on is belaboring something. Yes, you could really harp on a particular topic. Oof. Okay. Yes, I should have, the on being given means I should have been really attentive to that, because carping on, I guess you could sort of say that, but it's not how that word is typically used, I wouldn't say. So that was not a good answer on my part. So what is this? Oh, signal to play, hit it. Okay, so you could be I don't know, in a band or something, and someone says hit it, and then you start playing. So a stretch is a stint. You could have a stint in a particular job or role, a stretch in that job or role. Oh yeah, that's so. That's so. Yeah, that sounds good. Oh yeah, that's so. And a fickle food per Emily Dickinson. Oh, I'm not sure. Is it? I mean, if I had to guess, it would be love, but love is a fickle food. I mean, that sounds plausible, but I'm not certain. So let's check the crosses. Oh, and then here's food, literally. Not sure. Nowhere to be found. I don't know. Maybe this isn't love. Maybe it's fate or something? I'm not sure. Do you mind? May I, maybe? May I or can I? Do you mind? What about this? Cabin Fever director Roth. Eli Roth is a director, so there we go. And nowhere to be found. Could be AWOL, away without leave. And yes, that does look right, because in the loop could be aware. I'm in the loop. I'm aware of what's going on. And dream hand for a poker player could be a royal flush. There we go. So food is, fair. There we go. Okay, so fate. A fickle food is fate. And, oh no, it's not. It's fame. Sorry. Because do you mind is indeed may I. So there we go. Okay, and that makes fame makes more sense than fate after all. Makes much more sense in that analogy. Okay, so like flourless cake. I don't know. What is flourless cake like? I'm not sure. I mean, I've had it, but I'm not sure I can bring to mind what it's like that begins with a D in 5 letters. So Hindu fire god. Oh, I'm not sure offhand. And target for an exterminator could be a pest. You could have pest control exterminator type person. And food potentially is what? Download that might use a freemium model. So you could have an app where you download it for free, but then you have to pay for premium features. And blank slicker, a city slicker. There we go. Sort of an urbanite, I guess. And food potentially, I guess, is prey. So an animal who's preyed upon by a predator is the food for that predator. And then, like flourless cake, what is this? One side of a page, recto. So you have recto and verso, which refer to the left and right hand sides of the page. I might be mixing up which is which. I always get that mixed up. So like flourless cake. Oh, dense. It's dense. Yes, of course. There we go. So the Hindu fire god hopefully is Agni. I'm not, I don't have that knowledge off the top of my head, so I'll just have to hope that's correct. Let's keep looking. Expel, to expel someone is to oust them, to get rid of them. And to shove down the throat of is to force feed. Doesn't fit. Patriarchs and matriarchs are elites, I suppose. And enthusiastic response to wanna come. I do. Protect as freshness. Seal. Does it not seal in? That looks strange if I is the third letter here. Enthusiastic response to wanna come. Let's keep looking around. Deceptive movement. A feint? Maybe this isn't elites. Okay, fudge, fi, and fiddlesticks are some of the printable ones. F words, I guess. There we go. Right. Unlike the F word, which is, I suppose, not printable in quite a few contexts. So sulky is huffing. I'm sort of in a sulky mood. I'm not sure if that's right. Large swallow is a swig of a drink. Like marshes or bagpipes are reedy, of course, because bagpipes use reeds musically and marshes have reeds, the plants. So to exhaust physically could be to drain. And like tears and some language, salty tears or salty language. Salty language, an appropriate cross with F words. There we go. And modify as an article is to edit that article. Manhattan on an envelope could be represented as NYNY for New York City, New York State, respectively. And Manhattan being a borough of New York City, of course. And place for thieves is a thieves' den. Why are you making such a big fuss? Oh, what's the big deal? Right, so what's the big deal? Oh, I see. So 50% off. Oh, that's quite a deal. Right, I see. That's being offered, something's being offered 50% off. That's a great deal. A mega merger is a huge corporate deal, and a royal flush is a great poker deal. So three entirely really different uses of the word deal, all of which are very big, answering our theme question. So there we go. And let's finish off the grid itself. So sulky, right, we looked at that already. Yeah, sure, could be I bet, somewhat sarcastically. A League of Their Own is a film. And ideal for audiophiles in brief, a hi-fi, a high-fidelity system. So U.S. Theater Awards. OBs, the Off-Broadway Awards. Oh, huffish, sulky, huffish. Okay. I'm not very familiar with that form of this word, but it sounds better than huffing for this purpose. So there we go. And word with due or true, due north or true north. And Euphoria Channel, the program Euphoria airs on HBO. Okay, to shove down the throats of, to foist on? Right, I see. I'm going to foist this on you. I'm going to shove it down your throat, you could say. Okay, but it's a somewhat strange thing to say, but you could. Protect as freshness, still not sure about that. Title holders are champs, maybe? Sort of the reigning champion, the title holder, although this double H doesn't look very correct, so maybe not. Bevy is to quails as a parliament. Okay, so you have a bevy of quails or a parliament of owls from those big lists of, I think in some cases, sort of apocryphal names for groups of animals, mainly birds, like a murder of crows is the particularly famous one, for instance. Okay, I think some of those might have derived from one of those lists as opposed to being derived from actual cited usage in language, but I don't know which. Okay, now wait just a second. Not sure. And blue shade, aqua, teal, I'm not sure offhand. It means nothing at Wimbledon, so a score of 0 in tennis, Wimbledon being associated with tennis, is love, because there's obviously a famous tournament played there. Okay, keyword when writing dialogue. Said, I suppose the word said. He said, she said. Now wait just a second. Whoa. And blue shade. Oh. Oh, it could be navy blue. And then this is says, right. Okay. Fair enough. I should have thought that was a possibility there, but I didn't properly take it into account. So title holders, I see, are owners. So not titles in a tournament, but titles of an asset like a house or something. Okay, major bashes are fetes, big grand parties or galas, and a deceptive movement. Oh, it is a feint. That's what I wanted it to be. Why did I think it wasn't that before? I don't remember. So protect as freshness does look like seal in. Oh, enthusiastic response to want to come. Is it, oh, do I? And then patriarchs and matriarchs are elders, not elites. There we go. So that's the crossword. There we go. An occasionally tricky Wednesday puzzle, I would say. Definitely got slowed up here and there for sure. And a nice straightforward theme. In some ways, actually, a more straightforward theme than yesterday's Tuesday act, in fact. I mean, in the sense that you could, and in fact I sort of did, solve each of these clues without understanding the context of the theme. So we had our question, why are you making such a fuss? What's the big deal? And that, of course, can be solved simply by considering the given part of the clue without taking into account the hint to 17, 36, and 43 across. What's the big deal? Why are you making such a fuss? And the big deals are 50% off, a mega merger, and a royal flush. 3 different senses of the concept of a big deal. And there we go. That was the crossword for Wednesday, December 21st. I have to head off to the airport, so I'm going to end this video now. But I will be. I think I'll probably be back tomorrow with the daily puzzle, but I'm not 100% certain. We'll just have to see. But I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you will join me tomorrow either way. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Wednesday. Take care.